Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Gallery Notes. I'm your host, Chase R. McCurdy. We're here at 33 Gallery, aka 33G. We are currently in space with our brother Edison Lockwood II, filmmaker and tribe at 33G. Behind me, you see works from our current solo exhibition, Intuition Only, by the artist known as X.Darvi. This is X.Darvi's debut and first solo exhibition, not just at 33G, but in general. We're very excited to share her work. It will be on display through September 26, 2025. For those of us in town with us in Las Vegas who happen to see this before Saturday, please join us at After Hours, Saturday, September 20th, to engage with the work and engage with the gallery. In today's gallery note, we're going to touch on an idea and a topic that is important to me, and I preface it by saying these will be my thoughts, and we encourage you to have your own, to develop these thoughts, and even maybe be in conversation with us on this idea of the role of the black artist in society today. And really, when I think society, I think really specifically black society, black community. For me, the role of the black artist is in relationship to black people, primarily. The relationship of the black artist and the black artist's work to non-black peoples is secondary, but also does have its own contextual importance. But for me, the role of the black artist, I believe, begins with intention. I think the black artist, that publicly facing artist, societally supported artist, has a duty to display by example what it means to work with intention. The arts being a space where you are almost being valued by your society for your particular reflection upon conversation with, commentary of the society you live in. I think with that, we have a responsibility to show what it means to engage in this work with intention, because we are having so much put upon us, expected from us, and sought from us by our society. So first and foremost, this idea of what it means to practice with intention. And in that, I believe it becomes very important for black artists to also display through practice what it means to live in a space of grounded imagination, which for me involves this idea of embracing the unknown and living with this synthesis of the past, understanding the past, learning from our past, working within our present, while trying to put together and piece together that unknown future. So I believe artists can really take in a lot of information, perspective, viewpoints, experiences, work that together in that thing that artists do in their particular way, and give us some way of approaching the world to come, the world that we would like to create, the world that we would like to see, the world that we would like to experience, for me as black people. Another role for me of the black artist is this idea of the articulation of, or the expression of, a lived culture. Not merely making physical artworks that depict cultures, but creating works that come from living within a culture, recognizing culture as day-to-day activities within a group of people. We need less explaining culture, less showing images of, and more creating from a place of being within and naturally expressing and naturally outpouring what that lived experience of that culture may be. We become the repositories in that way. We become the historians for future ancestors in that way. I believe another piece, and this is starting to get us toward our wind down. I don't like gallery notes to be too long. This is just something quick to think about. Another role of the black artist is this idea of digging into the unknown. The artist, by virtue of their work, especially as the artist starts to be able to engage in their work more, whether that means they're able to make money in other endeavors that support the ability to take some time to engage in artwork, whether it be that artist is just really going for it and is stealing and making the time to do that work. You know, you have these people that don't sleep much, who may get up early, stay up late, in addition to whatever their jobs are to maintain their livelihoods. But then you also have those artists who maybe are paid for their work itself and thus have the time. But I believe it's important for artists to dig into the unknown that many of us don't have the time, energy, or interest to. Because our work is so intimately tied to reflection, is so intimately tied to the human experience, I believe it is very important for us to learn, to study, to engage in the exploration of those deeper pockets of history, of society, of philosophy, of culture, of spiritual ways of being, religious ways of being, etc., and working all of that together, once again, in some way informing our individual and collective futures as Black people. I want to end it here and notice that I mentioned a number of roles for the Black artist. I don't believe that we have to be all things to all people. I don't believe any singular artist has to be all expression for Black people. This is why varied voices are very important. And I like to think of this idea, once again, not of like minds, but of like spirits. I want artists, and I appreciate artists, not whose work looks like the work that I create, but whose work comes from a similar spirit that informs my work as well. There are artists whom I love who are representational. There are Black artists whom I love who are abstract. There are Black artists whom I love who engage in photography, etc. There are Black artists whom I love who don't engage when we think of as the arts. There are Black artists that I love who engage in working in community. There are Black artists that I love who engage in working with the land, whether it be gardening, farming. There are Black artists that I love who are martial artists, right? So once again, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. The Black artist, for me, first and foremost, don't let that motorcycle bother y'all. The Black artist, first and foremost, I believe should come from a place of intentionality and sincere spirit. From there, just trust and have faith in who you are and who you come from, and the rest, I promise, will work itself out. But move with some intentionality, move with some purpose, and recognize that this is not a time for our people to be resting, not a time for our people to be distracted. We got to be focused, and we got to be ready to fight, and our artists do play a role in that. I love y'all. This is a gallery note from 33G. Shout out to our brother Edison Lockwood II. I'm Chase R. McCurdy. Rock with us at one of our events. Rock with us online. We don't tell you what to think. Just give you something to think about. Love and respect.